Good afternoon from Piano Pavilion. My name's Adam Ramett. I'm the pianist on this channel mostly, and I thought we'd show you this afternoon what we've got coming up. These are selections from films mainly and theatrical shows, taking a break from other material. We've got tons and tons of this stuff to work through. So first of all, I thought we might record Jack Hilton's film from the 1930s, She Shall Have Music. Do a little bit of this. And there we go, a little bit of that. It's 1936. You can find that online, so you can actually watch that today. Billy Mayle, Britain's syncopated pianist from the 20s and 30s. This is a selection from his show Nippy, 1930. Sunny Disposition. Quite nice melodious stuff in there. There'll be two of everything. Rather nice song. Never been shown ever since. One of those forgotten things. Binny Hale. This is a French operetta, Day Day, by Christine. And a good friend of mine, Kevin Mears, organ builder and arranger, did a chunk out of this for a great big concert organ the other year. Nice stuff, all the usual sort of operatory things, waltzes, one steps. Vivian Ellis, Jill Darling, I'm on a Seesaw, Dancing with a Ghost. Let's have a quick listen. And so on and so on. Fred Bentley arrangement, one of the in-house arrangers, Chappell & Co, 1935. Next I thought we'd have The Firefly, but this isn't the normal 1904 Firefly by Rudolf Rimmel. This is a selection from the film. Of course, like modern jukebox musicals, they chuck loads of extra stuff in that weren't originally in The Firefly. But very pleasant music nonetheless. Range George Zalva. And of course it's got the famous Donkey Serenade in. So that's still to come. Another bit of Rudolf Rimmel, not often heard any of these days. This is The Blue Kitten, which was a musical comedy, 1926. Lots of really nice music in this, for which obviously Frimmel's known. And this is the British arrangement, H.M. Higgs. Let's have a... Oh look, The Blue Kitten, meow. And so on, meow meow. Very pleasant stuff. I've recorded a huge amount of Gilbert and Sullivan and also just Arthur Sullivan stuff, because the roll collection that I acquired a few years ago was put together by somebody who was incredibly fond of Gilbert and Sullivan. This, however, is a revised selection by Geoffrey Toy, who's probably best known for his instrumental light classic, The Haunted Ballroom. And it looks to me like he was the arranger for the film version of the Mikado, and he's just taken the usual well-known themes and a little bit of top and tailing, and it's different to the usual Godfrey arrangement that we often find of these things. People's tastes for Gilbert and Sullivan altered over the years, and the bits that we like today are quite different from the bits that they liked in the 30s and 40s, which again are very different from the things that people thought were its principal charms back when it was done in the 1880s and 90s. Right, yes, so this is something from radio, not film. And this is Novelty Land, arranged by Montague Ewing, or Sherman Myers was his pen name. And so there's lots of little novelty pieces, and of course there's quite a few in here that are actually by Sherman Myers, like the Little Dutch Clock. And so on and so on. So it's quite good fun to come in that one. Gypsy Carnival, Dance of the Raindrops, Wedding of the Wasps, better than Wedding of the Bees I suppose, Penguin Patrol, Featherette, stuff by Reginald Tabush and plenty other well-known light music British writers. This one, I need your help. If you've got a copy of this, get in touch. This is Robert Katcher's musical comedy light operetta Wunderbar, and this is going back to about 1930. Katcher's probably best known today for having written When Day Is Done, the theme tune used by Ambrose in the late 20s, early 30s, although that was previously called Panama when it came out as an instrumental. Unfortunately, it's missing the middle pages, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we haven't got 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 11, 12, 13 and 14, but we're missing the last page as well. Elizabeth. So if you've got any of this, please get in touch, because I'd love to put it all together. And this is the theme. And so on and so on. Very little of it was used in the talkie version, which had Al Jolson in, but you will hear that, just Wunderbar, the title tune. Land of Smiles, Franz Lehar. Can't see that this was issued on a pianola roll, so I don't have it in my collection anyway. And of course this finishes with the wonderful You Are My Heart's Delight. So that's still to come. Gershwin, Tell Me More. Lyrics by Buddy DeSilva, best known for Keep Me Sunny Side Up and everything else. And Desmond Carter did a lot of the British stuff. And of course Ira, George's brother. This is British selection, H.M. Higgs, 1925. Now the whole show was reissued on CD, CD box set, I don't know, a dozen years back or more. There's some really nice, good fun stuff in here. Well, you have to wait for it. Jack's the Boy. Vivian Ellis again, great British composer, and this was one of his 1930s comedy film vehicles with his other half, Cicely Courtnidge, probably better remembered today as Aunt Sally, and also she was in the first series of On the Buses, if you've ever seen that done in the late 60s. So here's Jack Hulbert and Cicely Courtnidge, Jack's the Boy. Of course, he did another one a year or two later called Jack Ahoy, set on a maritime theme. And this has got the wonderful song, The Flies Crawled Up the Window. It's all that they could do. And then we'll all go home. Fifi, another one by Christine. And again, this is a musical comedy / operetta, 1919, French, arranged by Henri Jackson. Of course, Jackson was a conductor here in London as well, and arranged quite a few of these things. Pleasant music. And so on and so on. Set on a Greek theme. Now this one's got nothing in that you've ever heard before, and nothing that's ever been played since. King Revel selection, introducing melodies from Jack Taylor's successful production at the Hippodrome, Blackpool, and no doubt that's a substandard Ziegfeld Follies set from the production done at Blackpool, and of course put on by Lawrence Wright Music Publishers, and of course Lawrence Wright, as you probably know, wrote stuff under the nom de plume Horatio Nichols. Oh, it was arranged by Horatio Nichols, so it's actually mainly by Lawrence Wright, and arranged by Lawrence Wright, and published by Lawrence Wright, and put on in Blackpool to sell music by Lawrence Wright for the summer season. This dates back to 1938, and as I say, there's nothing you've heard of here before, and there's nothing you probably want to hear of twice. So I shall record it just once. Well, you can whistle the rest of that because I'm sure you know how it goes. Like all of Lawrence Wright / Horatio Nichols stuff, it's all good generic pastiche fun. Next, yes, we've got The Girlfriend. Isn't She Sweet by Rogers and Hart, Mountain Greenery. And again, this is the British version, arranged by H.M. Higgs in London, 1927. And it's got Mountain Greenery in. What's the use of talking? Step on the Blues, interpolation, Con Conrad and Bill Donaldson. I'm in Love, another Con Conrad piece. So on and so on. The Blue Room, and of course the wonderful theme tune, The Girlfriend. And so that's still to come. And I've also got actually the Sandy Wilson pastiche, The Boyfriend, from the 1950s, which we'll be doing as well. Unusual one, World into Happiness. This was a operetta by Robert Stoltz, brought over here to England a few years later. So it's, what have we got here? Published in Vienna 1920, and this version arranged by Merlin Morgan, who was a London conductor, and I think must have conducted this if you go and look it up, because if you were the conductor you had the right to publish the selection. So this was published 1922 here in London. Merlin Morgan's probably best remembered for this sort of stuff for his Maid of the Mountains selection. H. Fraser Simpson. Well, it's Robert Stoltz. What else can you say? There's no real, wonders here. It is exactly what it says on the tin. So I'm Stony Broke, Slow March, number 6. Here we go. Well, it's almost a bit like his Foxtrot Salome, isn't it? Because of course that's from about 1920 or 1919. Let's try a little bit of the waltz Once in a While. I don't know what it was in the original German. Well, you could hum the rest of it. I'm sure you'll be able to make it up yourself. Anyway, there we go. A little look into what's coming. By the way, if there's any of this music that you fancy having a play of yourself, just drop me an email and I will do my best to fish it out from the archive, take a few pictures of it with my camera and email it over to you, just, because it is on the desk in front of me. If you like it, send me an email sooner rather than later, because otherwise the stuff goes back into the music archive and it may take a long time to fish it out, or even come across it again in the future. Anyway, have a good weekend from England, where there's no riots here yet, and keep playing the piano and keep listening. Have a good weekend.